My third and my last daughter was born on March 14th, 2000. Her name is Cynthia, named after my mother who had died in 1998. Cynthia was born again on March 14th, 2000, 5 pounds 4 ounces, healthy, and we brought her home, and she was a blessing to my entire family. When my wife wanted to go back to work, we decided to put Cynthia in daycare. We felt blessed to have available to us my wife's best friend, Barbara Barron, who was a certified New York State child care provider. So Cynthia was placed in her care, and things were going fine up until November 17th when something happened that changed our lives forever. Cynthia was dropped off that morning by my ex-wife, and later that day, she received a phone call from the childcare provider telling her to just come straight home after getting off work. And sometimes my wife would stop to pick up groceries. That was never an issue, but on that day, that phone call came. She didn't think anything into it, so she arrived at the daycare and would see Cynthia laying on the couch and would walk over to her to arouse her and dress her and bring her back home to our family. Picked her up. Cynthia would slump in her arms. Now, as a mother, of three, she knew that there was something wrong with our baby. So she rushed Cynthia to the nearest hospital, which is about 5 minutes away, St. John's Hospital in the city of Yonkers, New York. Ran into the emergency room with Cynthia, gave her to the staff. They tried frantically to revive Cynthia. Unfortunately, they couldn't, and Cynthia was pronounced dead on that day of November 17th at 5:59 p.m. And that day it changed our lives forever. As a father, I just felt that it was my responsibility to just take this tragedy and to make it into something good. I didn't want that to be, Cynthia's legacy, just being here 247 days of life. That's all she had. So I just, I read and absorbed as much as I could about what killed my daughter, which was shaken baby syndrome. The child care provider shook her, threw her, and killed her. She died of massive brain damage to both sides of her brain, and she was buried a couple of days later. I absorbed as much as I could about the issue of shaken baby syndrome. Um, the I guess the thing that pushed me was that Cynthia was our third child, and no one ever told us about shaken baby syndrome. Our pediatrician, no one at the hospital where our children were born. We never saw anything on television, never read a pamphlet anywhere. So that was the thing that really pushed me, that this was a dangerous thing for any child, and it killed my child. So my mission was to save other children and keep families whole, because this thing is real. It not only affects the victim, which is a child, it devastates family as well. So the foundation was formed in 2001. Again, it's a Cynthia Gibbs Foundation. It's nonprofit, which is dedicated to the prevention of shaken baby syndrome through education and prevention. Um, I I travel and teach parents and professionals about the dangers of shaken baby syndrome and coping strategies for crying. Crying is the number one trigger why people shake babies. So education is very important, and it's been proven that education can reduce the incidence of shaken baby syndrome by over 50%. So education works, and that's what I've been doing since the murder of Cynthia.